Can't see this thing 1548, Behind a Touch, Introducing Provoked, What Dems Choose. It's a series where I summarize rantatonne posts made up of at least 3 things I've read, seen, or heard. First question, touch me like one of your Latin friends? First section features James O'Keefe and a few stings, investigative operations from his O'Keefe Media Group, the OMG group. I admire what James O'Keefe does and other investigative journalists who do this kind of thing. Because some time back in Kenya, I had just gotten back from being abroad for some while, and some police were doing some shady stuff. They got my mom in some parking spot, and they took us back to the station, and I just remember being pissed off about the whole situation, thinking, what if I had just had my phone under the table recording, or like, I think it was a camera or something. But I was kind of scared, like, and where would I let this out? Who would I tell this information? What kind of change could actually happen from it? But from seeing what O'Keefe has done, there is a value to just exposing things that people already know are going on. Even if in some cases people are just saying things to try to get in with their dates. The thing I appreciate most about James O'Keefe is when he actually confronts the people after. And it has a chance of escalating into physicality. And there's some sort of physicality in this situation that made me think of another thing I see here in Kenya. You'd see men walking around holding hands. It's a more common thing here. And I think even in Italy, there might have been some of that, but I don't think it's necessarily a thing where if that's part of your culture, but you move to the United States of America and it's not part of the culture, you do that. Well, generally men can't get away with certain things in certain places. You put your hands on somebody, that can provoke a certain escalation of actions. Leading to the next question, is provocation a violation of the non-aggression principle? This section I feature the first 3 episodes of Provoked, which is a new show with Scott Horton, historian, and Daryl Cooper, another historian. What I've found with both of them is they present things. You might not agree with the conclusions that they have, but it's empirical stuff. It's stuff that has the evidence. I hardly see people who are countering what they're saying by directly talking about the details of the information they put out. It's more than like, oh, we shouldn't be talking about this information, or oh, that information doesn't mean this other thing, or just because you bring this information doesn't undo what that meant. So that's the kind of objections that I see. And with this series, which is probably going to be featured a lot here on rantatonne, I'm going to be getting a lot of information from. The first is the intro to the series and talking about the title Provoked, which is, I think, one of the things that most people object to, because in many cases, they're talking about how there were provocative actions by the winners, by the good guys, that people claim that, okay, that means you're saying what the bad guys did was right. No, we're just saying that things could have changed. Episode 2 is just the effect of American power. And for me, I just kind of thought this for some while. If you have all these toys, you're going to find reasons to use them. And if your toys are bombs, you're going to find reason to bomb people. On the third one, Cooper kind of summarizes his Jeffrey Epstein series on his Martyr Made podcast, which I really need to make time and listen to. Last one is the MSM, mostly regressive because they desire truth more. In the United States of America and other parts of the westernized world, academia and the establishment mainstream media tends to be socio-politically left-leaning. And then invariably at the cutting edge of different sorts of media, alternative sources of media and information, you'll find people that are more right-leaning. Some people will object to things like what James O'Keefe is doing and saying, oh, he's a right-wing person, he's targeting people on the left. Then why don't they set up their own operations and expose people on the right? Is it some kind of admission that they know that they have actually monopolized these sectors? They've monopolized the media, they've monopolized bureaucracy, they've monopolized the schooling indoctrination complex. It's not a thing where it's like, oh, just the smartest people have ended up figuring out that being on the political left is what's right. No. If they thought this, they would say, oh yeah, they would apply this merit type of thing to, let's say, CEOs being mostly white men, being just them studying and just earning it. On this whole people talking to dates, actually, Epstein could be using the sex stuff just to get information on institutions and sell it off to other people to use in private. Public sector version of what O'Keefe is doing in the private sector.